Item 10B is adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with the San Bruno Park School District to provide an after-school recreation program at Belle School. Randy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. This item is to authorize the city manager to execute an agreement with the San Bruno Park School District to provide an after-school program at Belle School. The Recreation Division staff has established an excellent working relationship with the San Bruno Park School District, and we have been able to assist the district on many occasions by providing after-school programs or summer programs at their request to benefit the children in terms of educational, supervision needs, etc. Two recent and very upcoming of these, as long as I have an opportunity to talk about them. Next week, the city staff will be providing a robotics camp over at El Crystal School that the school has asked us to help put on. And we're very excited about that one. And starting in September, with the addition of 6th grade at Parkside School, many of the parents came forward and asked us to put on some after-school programs at Parkside School that will include supervision, different types of activities, allow kids still to participate in sports programs or other after-school programs, but essentially to provide a supervised, healthy space. We've talked to the school. They are in favor of it, and they're providing program space for it. So there's a lot of times when the city has been able to work with the school district and to assist them in their programming. As you may remember, during the 2010-11 school year, the city entered into a 3-year agreement with Allen School to provide the After-School in Education and Safety Program, ACES. ACES program is a result of Proposition 49 from the 2002 ballot, a voter-approved initiative, and it expanded the before and after school learning and safe neighborhood partnership program. Essentially what it does is it establishes a local after-school education and enrichment programs between the schools and community resources. And the city has been able to offer that. Now we have just finished our 2nd year. It has been extremely successful. We have rave reviews from the parents and the school administration. We have met our program goals, our budget goals. It is in place, and we are serving approximately 87 students every day from the last bell until 6 p.m. And we've been doing that very successfully. The district has operated a very similar program, another ACES program, at Belle School for several years. And they have used a third-party private vendor to operate that program. According to the Belle administration, that vendor operated at least 7 after-school sites throughout the state. They had a site in Santa Rosa, they had a site in San Bruno, and then at least 5 sites that they know of in Southern California. That company, midway through this past school year, had financial problems with their administration, and they were unable to fulfill their contract, and so they backed out of the contract with the school district. And the school district, because of the city's success at Allen School, has come to us and asked us to take on the ACES program at Belle for next year and the 2 years thereafter. In addition to the Belle ACES program over the past few years, the city has operated a fee-based program. It's $125 per month, again from the end of the school, last school bell until 6 p.m. each school day. And many of the students are on scholarships. Many of them do pay the $125 per month. But that program's been in existence, and it serves approximately 15 students on a daily basis because the ACES program has not had capacity to handle all of the needs of the neighborhood children in terms of after-school programming, supervision, enrichment activities, etc. So where we are coming to the City Council tonight with a recommendation to enter into an agreement for the city to take on the ACES program, we would still offer the fee-based program under the same conditions. because the ACES program will not be able to accommodate all of the needs of the neighborhood. The terms of the agreement is that the district would be paying the city $7.50 per child per school day, up to a maximum of $106,875. Those funds will cover the costs of staff, equipment, and supplies, and will also provide the city with $16,000, or approximately $16,000 of administrative costs for the program, essentially for the recreation division supervisor and manager's time and the office time it takes to administer this type of a program. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have about this program, but our recommendation is to enter into an agreement for the after-school program at Belle School.
Yeah. Any questions for Randy?
Through the chair. Just in the agreement, looking under Section 3, Cities' Responsibilities, I do notice that it talks about the city and the personnel having the material and the equipment, putting together a program in various aspects. In the next page under Section C, it talks about a collaborative program planning and development process with parents, youth, and school site representatives. But then under Section 4, District Responsibilities, item B, it says district shall have the final program development approval. So it seems like we're facilitating it, we're having collaboration, but however, they're the final say then? Am I reading that incorrectly? Or the final say is by the district on what program the city offers?
No, it's an excellent point, and you're reading exactly right. Technically, the district has the grant through the state of California for these funds, so they have to have the final approval. However, city staff will work with the parents to talk about what interests there might be, what special programs. In terms of providing after-school enrichment activities, there's a wide variety of activities that will go on. And we will be asking for the parent involvement. Are there special things that you'd like to see your children learning? And we work with our recreation contractors or other contractors that might be in the area to come in onto the campus and do these things. However, we do have to run out the curriculum we develop past the school district, and they have the final say of if it's approved or not.
Okay, and then on Section F, it says the district shall be responsible for the security and safety of the children each day until they check in to the program. So is that for me to assume then the city assumes liability for the safety of the youth from the time they're in the program until the time they get home?
Until
or
they're picked up. Until they're picked up.
And they are picked up on site?
They're picked up on site.
They are not allowed to walk home?
They are not allowed to walk home. If there's a special circumstance, we will work with the parent directly and get the permission slips and those things, but we do not want that. We want the parents to pick them up on site. But you are reading it correctly that the district has the responsibility until they check in. And one thing that we do at Allen School, and we've already talked to the people at Bel Air, and we would continue the practice, we need an absentee list of all of the kids from the ACES program, all of the 84 children or so that are enrolled in our program. We need to know if they're there each day, because within a few minutes of the program starting, we take roll, and if there's a child not there, let's check the absent list. If they were in school but they're not at our program, we tell the district office, which is still open at that time, and it's their responsibility to find out what happened to that child. Once they check in with us, then it's our supervision. Our staff will handle the supervision of that child until they're picked up.
Okay, thank you.
Through the chair.
Michael?
I'm wondering, so the way it was structured before, the school district got the grant, they paid a contractor to come in and run the program. Now the school will get the grant and they'll pass that through to the city, and the city will provide the program. Is that going to, and it's basically cost neutral to the city. The grant will cover all costs. Will the city have to hire additional staff to staff this program?
We do hire some additional staff, as well as sometimes enter into a contract agreement like we do with all of our recreation instructors. Many of our recreation instructors work under a contract. So as I say, employees, I'm talking about both part-time employees as well as independent contractors. We will hire them the contractors are coming in, maybe you have a specialty in speaking a different language or teaching art or robotics or something like that. You may come in and teach that for an hour every Thursday or every day for 3 weeks in a row, and then you're gone, and another specialist will come in. The part-time staff will be there from the start of the school day until 6 p.m. In terms of budget, that is all figured out into this agreement. And as I said, the $106,000 that the city receives will cover the cost of all staff, whether they're part-time or contractors, all equipment, all supplies, and give $16,000 back to cover the administrative costs that we've had so far. Now finishing the first complete year of the Allen program, we actually were able to generate more than the $16,000 to cover the administrative costs. We're going to take the remaining portion of that and put that back into supplies and equipment to save some of the costs next year for the ACES program as well.
Okay. And as a percentage, do you know off the top of your head how much goes to administration versus?
15%.
15%.
And that's part of the contract from the state.
Okay. And does the school district get any administrative overhead for handling the grant?
They do. That's taken off of the top. That does not impact these numbers here. I believe it is 5%, but I can go back and double check. Essentially, it's the difference between the $112,500 and the $106,875. So approximately $6,000 off the top. I think it's
Okay.
I think that's 5%.
Makes sense. And is the 106, is that the same price they were paying the private contractor?
I have not seen
Okay.
that agreement, but I would assume so, because under the grant agreement, the district is allowed a maximum of 5% overhead, and the rest would have to go to the services. And the vendor, in this case the city or previously the outside vendor, the maximum there for administrative overhead is the 15%. So I would assume it's the same amount that was offered previously.
Okay. Thank you.
I would, if I can just point out, it's almost exactly the same agreement that we have at Allen School. There's a difference of $450 because the district made a mistake when they applied for the grant in Sacramento. So this agreement is $450 more, but the terms of this agreement are almost exactly the same as the one we have with Allen School.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. Any other questions?
Nope.
Action?
I'll introduce the resolution for approval.
Councilmember Salazar.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Aye.
Councilmember Medina.
Aye.
Mayor Lane.
Aye.